Greetings, I'm the Celtic Cricket, and you're watching Spiritual Enlightenment, and I'm your host, Charles Cochran, and a lot of people know me as the Celtic Cricket Psychic Reader. Today I brought my friend on again as a guest. Brian Dansuro is with us today, and we are talking tarot. Tarot cards. I've covered this topic many times, and everyone has a different take on it, and there's so many different decks on the market, and it's so much fun and involved. We're going to have a little fun in this episode. We're going to be talking about tarot and what it can do for you. More than just fortune telling. We're going to talk about self-help, positive growth, affirmations, and my favorite, spell work.
Exactly.
So, we've both been reading a very long time.
Yes, we have.
And I think we're both good readers.
Thank you. I think so too.
We've actually read each other too. So we have some similarities and we have a lot of differences. And I think that's good that everyone's a little bit different.
I agree.
And I know you're in agreement with this. We don't get all our information from the cards. The cards are just something to focus on. They can give a hint, but a lot of this information comes to us intuitively.
Totally does.
So I wanted to talk about some different tarot decks, and we'll get into some different spreads and what your favorite thing is about the tarot. So how long have you been reading the tarot publicly?
Publicly for the past like 4 or 5 years, but I'm reading tarot over 10 years.
A lot of my audience know I started out young with my mother with her playing cards that I put on the back burner. And then I picked it up again, and I've been reading publicly for over 25 years. Yeah,
that's my backstory too. My grandma taught me with playing cards. I've been doing tarot all my life, but really focusing on the readings and doing public readings the past few years. And I've been lucky enough to be a guest reader at the Silver Willow.
Well, we were happy to have you. I also will still pick up a regular playing deck once in a while and read that too. But I like the tarot, the 78 cards.
Too.
And everyone has a different take on it, and there's so many different options now. I would say in the last 25 years, tarot has come a long way. You can't throw a rock without hitting a tarot reader.
Absolutely right.
I mean, they're everywhere now. And years ago, they used to be a little more closeted and more private. But yeah, we're everywhere.
Totally true.
And if you don't know someone that reads tarot, guarantee one of your friends knows somebody. I mean, we're pretty easy to find. And people come to us for a little bit of insight. I find most people come because they want some type of clarification or validation.
True.
They may be thinking about buying a new car and they weren't too sure if they financially could afford it. They did a budget. They think it's within their reach. They wanted a reading to see if it confirms that or not. Sometimes people, just like other services they might go to, find lost items. Yes, you can do that with a tarot card.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out what you can't do with the tarot. You can do almost anything with the tarot card.
Exactly right, and I agree. And a lot of times people are like, oh, it's a mysterious process, and oh my gosh. And it is, but what it often does for us too, just opens up another pathway of thought, another way of looking at a situation, looking at a circumstance.
Well, people also ask me too, how do the cards know everything? There's only 78 cards. I said, yes, but it's like a puzzle. One card is a piece of a story. And every time you shuffle and you're reading somebody new, you're getting a different story.
Exactly right. A whole new story.
A good intuitive reader will know that it's always not black and white. Sometimes that card says yes, and sometimes it says, put the brakes on.
I literally had this conversation with someone not too long ago. They were getting frustrated. They've read 4 or 5 different books on tarot. And they're like, well, this card means this very specific thing.
It does from the author that they wrote that and illustrated it. Absolutely.
It does for that person. However, when you put it down with the person in front of you, it's going to have a totally different meaning depending upon the intuition, depending upon the circumstance, depending upon the question.
Absolutely. Well, look I'll just pull a card right now. And I managed to pull the Tower card. And the Tower is not a very pretty looking card. The Tower is getting struck by lightning, and people are jumping out. Are they dying, or are they jumping out to survive? This upsets some people, but it means big change. What do you see when you see something like the Tower card?
That's a good thing. Like when you look at the Tower card, it can mean a lot of different things. Part of what it means is basically change. It can mean you're knocking something down to rebuild something stronger. It can mean people are jumping out to their deaths or to their savior, or they're leaving a circumstance to go to a better circumstance in a fast, quick manner. So the Tower card can have so many different meanings. And some people are like, well, what does it mean upside down? I personally don't do upside down readings just for my own reasons. But the reality of it is, you can have the same meaning no matter what way you want to look at it. It's going to depend on the cards surrounding it.
Or the individual reader, because I could definitely see this as a big change. The Tower's coming, it's a big change. It's a rude awakening, wake up, smell the coffee, your world is about to change. And that could be a positive thing.
Right.
Upside down, I see no change. This is telling me that perhaps you're staying in a crappy situation.
Right.
At least when it changes, hey, that's a good thing. So, you know, every reader interprets the cards different, and the delivery of the information is different.
And that's the magic of it to me, because you can go to 10 different readings or readers with one card, and they have their own spin on it, their own take on it, and that's the art of tarot. And that's what I try to express to people. It's like, tarot reading is an art form now. It's not just a cookie cutter skill. When you grab the deck, you're actually creating an art. When you start reading that deck for that person, it's your own very specific version of that art.
Correct. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the audience that's watching, I want you to think of a question, and I'm going to pull one card, and I'm just going to give you the meanings of the card, and you're going to interpret that for your yes or no. Okay, and you can put your meanings on the spin as well. So think of a question, and here's the card. Whew.
You're putting out all those big boys.
We have the Ten of Swords. Well, the Ten of Swords is showing me lack of focus. It is showing me defeat, devastation, not getting your own way, and things not working out. I look at this as not a good idea card at this time. What do you want to say about that card?
I agree. So when you look at the Ten of Swords, it has a lot of different meanings. Part of that is you're at the end game. Wherever you're at, this is going to be the end of it, and you're going to have a new beginning. Another portion of it, as Chuck said, is just that. Not a good idea to get involved in something right now. So if you came to me and you asked me specifically, should I get the car right now? And I pulled this card out, like, I'd hold off a little bit. It's not that you're not ever going to get the car, but right now the timing's way off. So we look at it from a timing standpoint, we look at it from a positive, negative standpoint, but the most important thing is the underlying meaning of the card is something's ending. It's not a good time to do anything because you're involved in an evolution.
Now turn the card upside down, and if you look at this, the Ten of Swords upside down, the swords are coming out, so the healing process has begun.
True.
You've already have been defeated. Now it's time to pick yourself up, dust yourself off. I see this as the swords are coming out, so you're coming out of a situation.
Exactly.
And those are just some of our interpretations of the card. But upright is what I pulled, so I'm not thinking the answer to any question that you may have had was so positive. But it could be a polite warning to hold off on that. Now, a lot of people do one-card draws for the day.
Yes.
They'll shuffle the deck in the morning, if you will, and they'll select a card at random. And that will be their focus for the day, or what the message of the card is for an affirmation or to get me through the day. So for fun, why don't you randomly pull a card, and we'll discuss what card it is and what some of the messages for our day could be.
And I just started doing this on my Facebook page. I've been posting the one card of the day reading, and I've been getting a lot of positive results out of it.
What did we get?
So this is kind of funny.
Is that the Six of Rods?
Yes, it is. So the Six of Rods, it's kind of funny because I pulled this card this morning, and that's actually the reading for the day. I shuffled the deck as you just saw me do it. I pulled the card again. But a little bit earlier, before we were on air, me and Chuck were talking, and I had also pulled this card. So this is definitely, without any doubt, the card of the day.
And what is the message of that card?
So when I pulled this morning and I talked to myself and then I actually posted it, it was to be about collaboration but celebration. You're going to get recognized today for something that you've put forward in your energies. If you're at work and you're at a meeting, you're going to own that meeting today. Your ideas are going to be really well received and you're going to go very far today with that. I always put the caveat on it, never rest on your laurels. Although you're approaching what you need to approach and getting a lot of positive results today, don't forget tomorrow. Whatever we do today is the seeds for tomorrow. So definitely take that, take the celebrations and recognition today, but put it forward for tomorrow's as well.
And I'd like to add too, very similar to you, Six of Wands to me when I pull that card is success, victory, triumph. You've come a long way. You got the job done, recognition. And I look at that as, yeah, today's a positive day. So that's just one way you could use the card. You could pull a card for affirmation or your thought of the day. And I also like the famous 3-card spread. And that can be a quick if you want to pull 3 cards.
If I pull the 6 of Rods again, it's just going to be really funny.
It could happen.
Exactly. So we pull 3 cards.
And the first one we have is the Moon.
Queen of Swords. And the Star.
Ooh, okay. So I don't know if we can hold them up so they can see them. So the first card is the Moon. And the second card is the Queen of Swords.
Yes.
And the third one is the Star.
Exactly.
So you could do this as past, present, future. I like to do morning, noon, and night.
I agree.
So how would my day go? Well, I'm going to give you my version of the reading, and then you can give yours.
Absolutely.
I would say your morning is going to be moody, not knowing what you want to accomplish, things popping up, getting in your way, obstacles, and not knowing. The Moon to me is showing some kind of conflict. So your morning might not be as clear-minded. The Queen of Swords for the afternoon, clear communication, black and white, down to brass tacks, no fun and games. And then the Star, an awesome evening. Magic, possibilities, conclusion, dreaming. I see that as a very positive thing. So a shaky morning, a get things done afternoon, and a very wishful evening. What do you want to say on it?
I agree. If I pull these cards, when I look at the Moon for the morning, I'm thinking of, okay, whatever you're going to be doing, it's going to be just a little bit off. You're making your coffee, it's going to spill. You're going to go brush your teeth, you don't have any more toothpaste. You're trying to get to work, you're going to stop and get fuel. So it's going to be that come and go all through the morning. Towards the afternoon, everything starts to fall into place for you. You start to see things more clearly. Maybe you finally had that cup of coffee that you spilled, but it's going to work out much more smoothly, and it's going to be a positive afternoon. And again, with the Star in the evening, as always, it's going to be really a wonderful night. Maybe a perfect time to ask that person out on a date, or maybe to turn around and have a nice romantic evening at home, or even the movies and dinner, but a very positive night.
Excellent. What are some of your favorite tarot spreads? A spread is the different way you lay out the cards or how many cards you lay out. And we all have different spreads that we use for different reasons. You can pull the 1, the 3, the 5, the 10, the 7, whatever.
Exactly.
What is one of your favorite spreads?
One of my favorite spreads, I like to think of it as my own spread. And I do it most often with readings, unless someone asks for something specific or there's something going on with them. And I call it like a conversation spread. So generally what I'll do is I'll start the reading off with 3 cards on the table. And as we converse a little bit further, we need to get more insight onto the topic at hand, another card goes down. And as we talk further, it goes onward and onward. And by the end of the reading, there's cards laid out, but not only am I reading them across towards the end of the reading, I'm also reading them down. And a lot of people get a lot of information through that, and it works really well.
Well, that is very similar to something that I do, and I call mine the bed spread. But
I love that spread, by the way.
And what I do is people want to know about relationships or partnerships. Now, a partnership could be 2 brothers going in business together.
Absolutely.
Or 2 sisters opening a coffee shop. Or it could be a dating, romantic relationship. So I have them shuffle the cards, and I have them think of their significant other or their partner, and they pull out 3 cards for that person. And that kind of tells me the pros and cons, who that person is, what their strengths and weaknesses are. Then I put out 3 cards for the person getting the reading, again to see their strengths and weaknesses and their pros and cons. And oh, these guys are off to a good start.
I was just thinking that, like, this is awesome.
I wish this was my reading. And that shows me how him and her, or her and him, or whatever the situation is, what their strengths and weaknesses are and how they work together. And then 3 more to figure out what the outcome will be. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look too bad.
No.
But what I would also do, I'm not done with that, I go and see the similarities. As you see, we have cups up here. So we're going to look for any other cups. All the cups seem to be up here. But we do have wands here and wands there. So I group the cards together on their suit, if you will. And that can also give us more information. And I read it every way you can, across and up and down. But if this was a partnership, I'd say do it.
Oh,
it's
totally.
very, very good.
That was a really good pull.
Now, also, people will ask, you know, they'll have several questions during a reading that they may have, and I will just let them fan out some cards, and I have them ask their question. So just for fun, do you want to ask a question and select a card?
Sure. How will my afternoon be after the taping today?
Okay, let's see.
So let's see what's going to go on.
And I'm going to interpret it, and then you can disagree. It's going to be quiet. You're going to take some time maybe reading or meditating, and I think you're going to enjoy your surroundings in a peaceful, tranquil way. I have the Hanged Man, and he's just hanging from the tree, dangling down. He may be looking at things from a different angle, but nothing major going on. I look at that as time to chill, read a book.
Which is kind of funny because I already have my afternoon planned, and it actually is going home. I'm doing a meditation, but then I'm actually going to be looking at putting together some more cards for my YouTube channel as well as for my Facebook. So it's actually just all of that for this afternoon for me.
Okay, and another thing that they do, clients will ask, what should I not focus on? So I'm going to select a card, and you're going to tell me, what should I not focus on?
What you should not focus on is the expectations of others, the expectations of people involved in your life, as well as expectations of the mores. A lot of time we get hung up thinking about what is this person thinking, or what is this establishment thinking of me, and we realize, or we don't realize, that we're not thinking of ourselves, what makes us happy. And
well, it's true. Sometimes we put somebody else first, and we go without, or we bite our tongue making someone else happy, but we're truly unhappy.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's okay to say no.
Precisely right.
Well, that's what I'll be saying later today. No. And then, you know, they always ask, what should I focus on? So
what should I focus on?
Let's take one card.
I think I'm going to take this card.
Ooh. Enterprise, creativity, passion. This is the King of Wands. He is expanding. He's getting the job done. He's doing things fun, creative, things that you're passionate about. This is doing things that you truly enjoy doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There he is, sitting on his throne.
Perfect.
So, what kind of clients do you get, and what do they particularly want during a reading? I mean, everyone's different, so we all want different things.
Right, and then that's true. I get a lot of people that want to talk about or focus on relationship type questions. I'll have people that want, a lot of times, a general reading. How's my week going to be? How's my month going to be? And I always try to tell people, me personally, I know a lot of readers do a lot of different things with future readings. I try to cap it off at a 3-month span, mostly because I like it to be accurate, and anything over 3 months, it's like the butterfly effect. If I move this one card over this way, everything else after 3 months is going to be very much changed. It can be very much changed after a week, but 3 months is a safe bet, so to speak. One thing I won't do for readings, though, is people ask me, is my husband cheating on me? I won't definitively go with that. I'll go with what could you do to benefit yourself? Where are you in your life right now? Where do you need to be? What do you need to focus upon? But I won't do, oh my gosh, look at that. He's out there looking at options.
Well, let me tell you this. I've been reading a long time, and it is my conclusion that the people that are asking if someone else is cheating, they're usually the cheater themselves. I get people asking me when they're going to die.
Yes.
And if they ask me that, I don't mind answering it. I let them know I see it in the cards. But usually it's an answer that, is decades away.
Right, because we all are. It's just a matter of when.
Or sometimes they want to know if their grandfather's going to be okay. And if I don't see a lot of health improvements, I'll let them know that, I see him hanging on till this amount of time, but then it seems like he starts to whittle down worse.
Right.
But no, I cannot predict the exact time and day you will die.
Exactly. I've had people like, I have cancer, is my chemotherapy going to help? I'm like, well, I'm not going to answer that. That's a good question for your physician. If you want to talk about what you need to focus on, you want to talk about other aspects of it, I can certainly be helpful with that. But I'm not going to take your money and either pretend to give you a reading on it when myself personally don't believe in doing readings on anything towards that end.
I have noticed, though, a lot of people love money, and then when it comes to health, it's usually health about other people, not themselves.
True. Very true.
Their aunt or whatever. And sometimes they want a timeline. And timelines aren't as cut and dry as I would like them to be. But what I do is I select a card and I equate it to the season or the number, and you can get different timelines. So I'm going to pick a card to see if I can get a timeline. Oh, well, this is the 9 of Swords, and the swords are ruled by air.
Yep.
And air is rules by the days. So I would say in about 9 days.
True.
That would be my guess. But you could probably get a different time on that.
Yeah, because you can also go with seasons, because they do also mean
spring.
seasons. It's spring. So
in 9 springs, your wish will come true. Now, I would tell them 9 days.
Yeah, I agree with that. And some people ask, when's it going to be a good time for me to start school again? You pull that up, and you're getting a predominance with swords, like springtime. You know, one is registered for the spring semester. It's a great idea to do. There's a lot of different ways of reading. That's the best part of it. And there's so many different cards now to do readings with. Like Chuck said earlier, there's even tarot cards for TV shows and anything you can imagine. But the reality of it comes down to, I think, finding a bond with the reader. Because you can go to a reader and like, oh, it didn't work out. Well, maybe it did, but you weren't bonded with that person.
Well, not only that, I also would like to say, some people think, oh, I got a bad reading. No, you didn't. You got some truthful answers that you didn't like.
Yes.
The reader did not tell you everything you wanted to know or tell you that you're right and everyone else is wrong. So, I don't know. I try to be very honest when I read.
One of the readings I had at your shop, you asked the client as they were leaving, how'd the reading go? It's like, well, you know, it's not what I wanted to hear, but it's what I needed to know.
Correct.
And that's the reality. It's what we all should be striving for as readers.
Another thing that I get sometimes, people ask, well, I'm thinking about going back to school, or I'm thinking about getting into a new field of work. What do you see me doing? Well, first of all, you should have a plan.
Yeah.
But I do let the cards. Now, I have the Chariot card. It's ruled by Cancer, and the Chariot is a vehicle. Depending on who I'm reading, I may say in auto sales, mechanic,
Yeah.
or maybe an Uber driver.
I was going to say, maybe you want to pick up some part-time work as an Uber.
And you know, if there's a particular card that gives you confidence and you're having an issue, let's say you have to give a speech in front of a bunch of people and you might be nervous about it, maybe you could take that card that shows success and carry it with you, put it in your pocket, and I just drew the sun, and that is success big time.
I personally do that. There has been many times in my day where I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those days. I'll pull the magician card and I'll carry it with me.
Absolutely.
Because with the magician card, you're the one in control. You've got all the tools available to you for your success for that day. And it's empowering, and it does help.
I'd rather carry the tarot card than a rabbit's foot.
Agreed.
Because the rabbit foot is not so lucky for the rabbit.
Exactly right.
So if you're interested in readings and tarot, get a hold of me. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, drop me an email. I want to thank Brian DeSuro for being on the show today and talking tarot. Any tidbits left on the tarot you want to say in the last minute?
I want to say thanks for having me. And use your tarot. If you have a tarot deck, use it. You can utilize it for, as we said, little spell works. Just put it out and think about what you need to work on and do positive affirmations with it. Carry it around.
And this is for our audience. We have the Knight of Cups. Generosity, love, abundance is coming your way. This is the Celtic Cricket. Thank you so much for watching Spiritual Enlightenment. And remember to live out your dreams, celebrate your spirit, and it's in the cards. Thank you.